Hey guys, Dave Desai, welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about V, or Taehyung, our naughty little boy, and sometimes he likes to say some questionable things. Flirty, questionable things. So we're happy to hear it. Given sometimes it might be taken out of context. But let's talk about it anyway. I'm very curious to hear what you think of these comments. I will of course go over what some armies had to say about this and how they're feeling. This is going to be a nice fun little video for you today. We also have a moment of V getting slightly angry with his friends. This is maybe something you didn't know about V that I now can tell you about. So if you're new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime a new video drops. If you're a hater, like to be the first to leave your hate comment, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be the first to do so. Now, let's jump into it. Before we officially jump into it, I do have something I would like to say. I want to address some of the stuff that's been going on Twitter. It's hard to completely ignore some of the hate that's on there. I seem to be the only commentary channel, when you put my name in on Twitter, that seems to be getting this extensive amount of hate and people who are just threatening me. This obviously comes with the territory. I completely understand. I want to address my titles specifically because a lot of people have issues with it and I didn't want to address it previously because it just opens up this can of worms. If you can stand in my shoes and think about it, think about my perspective and it'll answer all your questions. My titles are titles based on what is going around on Twitter or what is going around in the BTS community, which is why it's titled Why Armies Blank, Why Blinks Blank. So when I say why armies whatever, it's talking about those specific armies who have had a reaction to the topic I am talking about. And then I usually talk about what their reaction is and I read some of the tweets that are in the videos. That is what this channel is. It's just commentary on what's been going on. One video I talked about was Jimin's drinking problem. In the title I wrote why armies are scared of Jimin's drinking problem, because this is true. This is something that a lot of armies are scared of. Because if you write in Jimin's drinking problem on Twitter, you'll see a lot of armies writing things about Jimin's drinking problem and scared that he has one. I talk about why they're scared, and I also talk about why I believe Jimin doesn't actually have a drinking problem. So I don't necessarily understand the clickbait claim. Is it a title that is catchy that makes you want to click? Sure. If that is solely what you mean by clickbait, then fine. But my titles are not a lie. It is not something that you click on and that is completely different from what the title says. If you did the slightest bit of research, which people claim that I don't, and if you go on Twitter and you write in the topic that I'm talking about, you will see some armies talking about this stuff. Even if it's just one person, which it's usually not, by the way. But even if it's just one person, then it's clearly not a lie. I've gotten claims like, I know your titles are fake, but blah, 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 blah. But okay, it's not like I'm sitting here saying so-and-so died and I'm talking about so-and-so's book bag. If I'm ever doing that, then clock me. That to me is what clickbait is. My titles are relevant. They might be exaggerated, sure, but they are relevant to the topic that I am talking about. And what's even worse is there's so many big accounts on Twitter that have started this hate train on me, that have spread this message about me, and a lot of people are just seeing the titles and just thinking that it's fake because they've never heard it. They see that the titles are a bit crazy and out there and they think that this must not be true, when if you were to click on the video you would see that what I'm talking about is pretty relevant. There are so many people that are convinced that my titles are fake that they're not even going to watch my videos and that my titles don't make any sense to the video. You can make anything not make sense if you want to, but why are you trying to make it not make sense? Why not look for the good in people? If you only look for the bad in people, then that is a toxic trait on its own, and that is something that BTS does not endorse. Anyway, enough on that. Let's get into what you guys are here for today. The first piece of fun tea we have here for you is going to be V flirting. V is known to be very flirty, especially with armies. Whether that's intentional or not, V often responds back to armies on Weverse, like winking emojis, smirks, flirty things. Things that I never received that I would like to receive. So flirty, he can flirt my way any day. Send a wink over here, I'll send one back. But we all know he ain't looking in this direction, okay? And if he ever looked in my direction, I'd probably have to make sure if he was mentally okay. You want me? Do you need glasses? Taehyung is recently very active on Weverse, which is a blessing, since he is at home with nothing to do, and they just had Bang Bang Con too, so he's on Weverse kind of interacting with everyone who became a part of the live stream. He wants to sit at the computer and kind of thank everybody for joining the live stream, for being this active, and of course for keeping BTS going even in this time when they're not doing anything. This is his way of thanking armies, which what better way to thank armies than to thank them personally with a winking emoji. If you're not on Weverse, you need to get on it, babe. It's a social media site that seemingly Taehyung seems to be very comfortable on. More comfortable than Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that sort of thing. I feel like he can really speak to everybody and get along with everybody on there. But obviously, since it is a Korean social media site, there is definitely less users on Weverse than there are on Instagram and Twitter. So he's able to kind of communicate with people more on Weverse. So if you know a little bit of Korean, you want to bond with our boys, you can go over there on Weverse and have a little chat. There's a high chance V may talk to you. It sounds like I'm sponsored by Weverse. I'm not. But I will be your spokesperson if you need a spokesperson. All I have to say is BTS is on it and you'll get thousands of new signups. So let's get into kind of the awesome perks that you get for signing up on Weverse. I swear I'm not sponsored. Taehyung likes to write things like, you know exactly what I like. Ooh, do we now? I don't think you've ever talked about that. Keep in mind his English is not very good. So these kind of messages and comments are from the little bit of English he does know, but from the rest of them, I'm assuming it's going to be like Google Translate or something. So he could just not intend them to be so flirty. But hey, we're going to go with flirty because it's a fun, good old time. I wonder what the initial comment was though. That person has to now frame what Taehyung said. Like it's the law. If Taehyung flirts with you, you better be keeping it somewhere. But I need to know what the context was because things like that taken out of context is like, wow. It can cause quite the commotion. Taehyung also has this post where he said something questionable. I'll say if you have the slightest of dirty minds, then this is going to cause quite the stir for you. This might be a bit too spicy for you. Again, I can't find the original post. I don't know what the original post was. I don't know what he was responding to. But these comments have been floating around with no context. And it's just so funny. This one says, well, let's go to bed with me. Let's go to bed together. And I'm just shook. Did you just invite me to bed? Like this lucky person, oh, this person got an invitation to go to Taehyung's bed. If you're not jealous, you have to now go find Taehyung. Like the person that Taehyung responded to, you have to go find Taehyung. Like print this out, find Taehyung and be like, look, your invitation, I accept. Like, hey, stop inviting people to your bed. You don't know if they're crazy or not. You gotta have dinner with them first. That's what dating is. We also have this one, which is just insane. Rumor has it that you couldn't walk the next day. I don't have to explain that one. Again, Tay, you gotta date them first before you do the nasty. But who is this for? I must know. And why are you posting these things and not sending them my way? I think everyone would like a boyfriend like Taehyung that is unintentionally flirty because it's so funny. Do you not agree? We also have this commenter who was just ready to risk it all. Risk it for the biscuit. And you know what? I'm ready to, Dad. Come over there in South Korea and risk it all. This person wrote, well, let's go to bed with me. Let's sleep together. Me, packing my bags and booking my ticket for Korea. Look what you do to us armies. While we have V, who is the flirty boy that he is also a super protective boy of Jimin. This is something that you guys may be aware of. They know that V is super protective, but perhaps you don't know that he is super protective over Jimin, as they go way, way back. So if you're not familiar, I'll definitely fill you in here today. Jimin and V used to be like grade school friends, or at least school friends. They used to have class together. They knew each other for a while, and then they officially came to the same school together where they were hanging out a little bit more. A lot of the members of BTS used to be pretty close before they officially joined like BTS as a group. I think that's really cool and that's really great. It's a great way to kind of solidify the friendship. Like they're going to be best friends for the rest of their life. I wish I had friends like that I've known for a long time. It just shows no matter what happens, V will be there for Jimin, and that's just a beautiful thing to know. When Jimin first attended this school, V showed Jimin around, and V even introduced Jimin to some of V's friends. Because of course, if you're new to the school and all that stuff, you don't have any friends, then it's so nice to introduce them to new friends. And I love when people do that. This is so kind. But of course, when V had a moment and kind of left V's friends and Jimin together, and V decided to kind of head out and do something, V's friends and Jimin were kind of playing separately and kind of away, and Jimin was kind of playing by himself. When V came back, V noticed that his friends and Jimin weren't actually talking to each other or hanging out, so he went up to kind of confront them. Like, what did you do to my boy Jimin? Why is he not hanging out with you guys? Why'd you hate him? Those exact words, probably. After V came back, V noticed that it wasn't in fact that V's friends didn't want to talk to Jimin, but it was more so that Jimin might not have wanted to talk to V's friends. V's friends mentioned that Jimin seemed very shy, like they would ask a question and he would give like these one-word quick answers and never really kind of contribute to the conversation. So the conversation would end right away, and in which case V's friends would think, oh, okay, well, he doesn't really want to talk to us. That Jimin doesn't really want to be a part of the friendship. And oh, that's so sad. But of course, we realized that Jimin is just shy, is scared to have a conversation with people, and he probably just didn't feel like he would fit in, or he was just nervous. I don't think that he didn't want to be friends with them. I think he was just kind of scared and intimidated because he was so new. Obviously, he is not super extroverted. I don't imagine him as this super extroverted person. I imagine him as the type of person to want to take long walks and all that sort of thing. But I don't imagine him not having conversations with people or not trying to engage in conversations when there is a social event. So it's great to kind of see our favorite idols in a different kind of light, to see them when they were younger. That's a really great little fun fun story that we have here. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for your comments. As always, I do have a Patreon if you would like to check that out and kind of contribute back to this channel. Anything you can kind of contribute over there really does help kind of contribute back to the channel and makes the videos better and all that sort of thing. So thank you so much for going ahead and doing that. And of course, it means so much for the channel. You can also get exclusive content over there, such as reaction videos, like music video reactions, ship reactions, performance reactions, that sort of thing. And I'll leave a link in the top of the description down below so you can go ahead and check that out. There's also 2 videos that will pop up on the screen at the end of this video. So you can go ahead and click on one of those and I will see you over there. Bye.